The day was 7th of July 1999. The Kargil war was in full swing and Captain Vikram Batra was trying to rescue an Indian soldier while he himself was hit by a Pakistani bullet. Unfortunately, Captain Batra died that day, and with him he left the entire country in sadness. Not just the country, he also left his fiancée who hasn't really married. Now, 21 years after that incident, his life story is taking the shape of a Bollywood film, which is named Shershaah, being directed by Vishnu Varadhan. And obviously, playing Shershaah's role is Sidharth Malhotra, and that of his fiancée is Kiara Advani. Sidharth, my first question to you is, we know that Captain Batra was more filmy than all of Bollywood put together compared to from what we've heard about him. So I'm not saying that you're not as dynamic as him, but how difficult was it for you to fit into his role?
I feel it was extremely challenging to get into a headspace of this extremely flamboyant yet very lovable, charming, filmy, buff character or person, and then yet when that person is on the battlefield, he was the most inspiring leader that the Indian Army has seen in recent times. So in my head, as a character, as a personality, I think he had two different sides to him. He was, when it came to, though it trickled, he was Yaro Ka Yaar in both, whether it's on field or whether he met people personally. But when it came to achieving a mission or someone telling him that ki sir wahan bahut sara danger hai, mat jaiye, that never stopped him. I think he was a true daredevil who walked the talk, and when he said those dialogues, कि या तो मैं तिरंगा लहरा कर आऊँगा या उसमें लिपट कर आऊँगा.
This is what you also say in the film.
Yes, yeah, he actually meant it. So all these lines, whether it's Dil Mange More or the Tiranga line, are all actually said by Vikram Batra, which is what makes it so special. People might feel that we have made it for the film, but these are actually true life instances that we are reliving again. And for me to get into the headspace of such a leader or such a soldier, such a fighter, was challenging, and I feel I've spent so much time with it. I'm so attached to it now, and it's a passion project. It's the first time that I'm playing a real life hero, and I've met the family, I've closely interacted with them to gauge something subconsciously as to what he was all about.
Have you met the family, and when was the first time you heard about Captain Batra in the first place?
Well, during Kargil War, I was really young in my early teens. I think I was 12 or 13 years old when I saw it, and I vaguely remember things on NDTV. We were seeing it, and where there was this interview, and it's a very surreal experience that after many more. Yes, Dil Mange More. And it's such a surreal feeling now that after many years, A, it was a far-fetched thing that I become an actor, and then B, portray that very character that I saw in my early teens, and today we are here talking about it in an interview. So I felt when Vishal Batra, the family, the brother of Vikram Batra, came and said that we would like to make a film, and we wanted to approach you. There is this kind of, they had some very interesting ideas in their head that I would fit into the bit, and I feel extremely humbled and then yet very lucky that they approached me, and this happened 5 years ago with Shabir Boxwala, and who is our producer. And then it's had a very interesting journey where producers have changed, the teams have changed, and then I was keen to take this film to Dharma Productions, and Karan was very interested and instantly said yes. And then we have this wonderful team today. Vishnu is making his first Hindi film with Shershaah, or Kiara and I working together for the first time. So I think it's had a very long emotional journey, but a very good heart. So we're hoping that the end result is equally fulfilling.
He spoke about an emotional journey. What I want to ask you, Kiara, is that it's also emotionally difficult role, right, for Dimple, his fiancée. So how did you adjust and adapt to that role? Did you meet her? What were the conversations, if at all, you've had with her? And how did you come to play her role in the first place?
Well, thanks to Vishnu sir, who called me for a narration and left me in tears after that narration. It was one of the most moving stories I'd ever heard. I did get to meet Dimple. I spent time with her. I think she's, I've never met anyone like her. And she truly, when you meet her, she's somebody who, she kind of like just, in a very pleasant way, takes you by surprise. Just, I had thought, I didn't want to get into too many details. I thought maybe it'll make her emotional. But she spoke with so much happiness in her heart about everything, their life, their story. She was reliving it with so much happiness, and all of that is what's actually in the film.
Is there any specific conversation that you remember with her? Maybe a specific line that she told you about?
I mean, this is also in the film, the way he committed to her in a true, you know, soldier hero style, cutting his thumb and putting the sindoor on her, and even going around the Gurudwara. And she's a Sikh girl, so she took these things very seriously. And she said, I was like, he's such a filmy man. He would do all these things, but they would just sweep me off my feet. It was the most charming love story. He was, you know, so full of passion. And you see that in the love story. And for me, also seeing firsthand, experiencing the challenges and the pressures and the hurdles that the loved ones face when, you know, when they're constantly living in hope. But there's so much happiness in her eyes that when I think of it, and I think the way she looks at it so fondly, it always brings a happy smile. It just always brings a feeling of like a very overwhelming, happy feeling. And that's what I saw in her. So I think that's what the love story was.
For an intelligent actor, it's an opportunity you can't refuse.
I want to ask you,
true.
Vishnu, no film is easy to shoot that way, but given the terrain, I can see the mountains you've shot over here. It's not very easy to establish a tripod because there's no fixed ground. From the point of view of shooting and directing, how difficult was it?
See, I think I had one of the best tripod stands ever possible, you know, or a track and trolley or anything. That was Kamaljit Negi.
Right.
So he was my tripod, he was the track and trolley, he was everything. He's the man like a pahadi. He carries a camera. See, that's the only way you could film, actually, you know, because every day was challenging for us.
What was the most difficult part in shooting this film?
Shooting the difficult part was terrain where we were shooting the war. Because, see, you would think, you know, chalo yaar, let's make it very authentic, you know, let's get the slope, you know, they shot at a slope, chalo, let's pick locations like that. Okay, you're imagining, you're fixing terrains like this, and when you actually come to the terrain and when you actually do the recce, you're saying, are you really serious? Are we going to shoot here? But then the excitement is so much now we can do it. And when the actors came on board, you know, and when they really were, because you were also shooting on the slope, you know, there are rocks that were sharp, you know, you would stumble upon, the cameraman would stumble upon. And that became the style and the design of the film. And it was very difficult also because you cannot use any lights whatsoever because you can hear so much of noises around here and the wind is so strong because if you see actually that peak, we were almost shooting on that height.
Right.
Not even that is too far actually for us, but we were shooting at least on that height. So you need to drive around quite a bit, take all your equipments and film every day was a challenge. And especially having some passionate producers like Dharma and Kashi Entertainment and our production people, for them to pull off something like this, to give us what we want, otherwise it won't be possible.
I would like to ask you, Sidharth and Kiara as well, which is the most favorite scene in the film? Favorite/difficult, whichever way you want.
Oh, that's very tough, yeah. I think, as I said, I'm so attached to the film for me. You have one?
Yeah, please.
Say.
Bus stand scene is my all-time favorite.
Oh,
Bus stand is
really?
even mine. I cry
my
so much.
favorite
Oh,
scene.
really?
Chandigarh?
This happened in
This
Chandigarh
happened
bus
in
stand,
Chandigarh.
where Dimple actually sends off Vikram Batra to the war. It's a very simple scene. It's so beautifully done by these two actors of mine, and they were like fabulous. And that's one of my. Sometimes I feel this is exactly what would have happened and cannot be any better.
One final question I have. You have anything to say about any favorite scene or difficult scene?
This is one, and the other is also the last scene in the film.
Yeah.
But I won't say much about that. I think you see it.
My final question is that, do you think that any film, as a filmmaker and actors, do you think that any film can do justice to the supreme sacrifice both of Captain Batra and of Dimple in a sense?
I mean, see, I don't think so. I feel it's, as I said, we're still doing a pretend version of what happened.
Right.
We are trying to get into the psyche of what somebody would feel or say when they are living their duty to the extent of giving their lives. So I would be lying if I say I really understand that mindset. But I've tried my best, or we have as a team tried our best to encompass it in 2 hours and to show you every aspect of that person's life. And hopefully it will inspire the youth to make them focus. Like Vikram Batra was only 24 when he passed away, and he was so driven and focused and so passionate about, serving the country. And I feel that's the question everybody needs to ask, that are you so passionately feeling about any aspect of your life or something in life, then you should go and follow it. So hopefully we inspire passion in people, we instigate passion in people, and hopefully maybe probably get more heroes like Vikram Batra for the Indian Army.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.